Welcome back to the best beverage that's in this glass. In fact, it's already full of a beverage, but we'll explain what it is here in a second. We're going to talk modifiers. Going to do several episodes intermingled about what modifiers are. Modifiers are usually the second ingredient in most cocktails. The base spirit typically being a scotch, a whiskey, a bourbon, which is both whiskeys, but rums, gins, vodkas. These are the things that modify the main flavors and add some stuff to it. Add some complexity to make a cocktail. Usually at least 3 ingredients. It could be a lot more, but it's kind of like a chord. It's the middle note, the chord, and then you have some accents on the top. So we're going to talk probably the most used and popular modifier, which is vermouth. Got my notes right here, so I'm going to cheat because these dates are important and kind of hard to remember. It's basically aromatized fortified wine. I'm trying to say that 5 times fast. It came out in the 18th century in Turin, Italy, and actually Antica Formula was technically the first at 1786. So sweet came out first, and mainly they were created as medicinal. Then it was more of an aperitif. So there are 2 items, an aperitif and a digestif. An aperitif is kind of like an appetizer. It awakens the belly, as they thought, and makes you want to eat more. And a digestif is what settles down the belly after eating and then melting you out. And then you come around 1808, 1830-ish, you get the dry version, or the Blanc version. Also in Italy, Noli Prat was the first one, 1808, 1813. Now, these are fortified wines, but they're not your typical varietals that you get for table wines. These are going to be different grapes that are used for these. The sugar is added to this. It's about 10 to 15% sugar. Very little is in the dry, about 4%. Every one of the different vermouths are going to have slightly different herbs and botanicals added, and they usually try to be guarded. There you go. Guarded secrets. Because I can't say preparatory. I can see. There it goes. Guarded secrets, and only the people who come up with these know. Like Lillet's slightly different than... I don't think Antica does have it. If they have a dry version, I've never seen it, but they might have a dry version over in Italy. Lillet is France, Italy. It's, what's the main uses for these are going to be, the biggest cocktail you will know that this is a modifier for is going to be a martini. Martinis are dry, and I really like Lillet for a dry martini. It's nice. For your sweet vermouths, Negronis, Manhattans, going to be your biggest top 2. Now, they do come in slightly different varieties. There's also a rosé, and of course we got that for the director because she loves rosé, and it's really quite nice. One of the things I like about them is you can also just do these a little more solo. There's a spritz. I do a modified version of the spritz because these are all low alcohol. This is, if I remember right, 32 proof, and these are like 34 proof. So it's something you can sip on and enjoy. The true spritz is going to be this champagne or sparkling wine, and then soda water. For what I'm sipping on right now, which is quite nice, I delete the sparkling wine, just the soda water, lime, usually some dashes of bitters, and then, this one we're using a rosé because I just like the flavor during the summer. But you could use any of these and just soda water. It's lighter, it's is enough alcohol in there to make you feel comfortable, but you could sip on these most of the day and you're not going to hurt yourself. You'll be fine. Don't recommend you sipping on them all day because it's still alcohol, but it's going to be a lot lighter than sipping on a real cocktail all day. They're really fun. Use after you open, these are wines. As you can tell, this is a smaller bottle. Get the smaller bottle. Usually when people were trying to make cocktails and they found them, you know, on their mom or grandmother's bar cart somewhere and they've been sitting out for months and for some reason their cocktail tasted awful, it's because they are still wines. Now they're fortified wines, they'll last longer than a regular wine, but you still want to, if you're not going to use a lot, get a small bottle if available. If not, at the very least put it in your refrigerator. Kind of funny, our wine fridge has more vermouths and fortified amaros in it than actual wine. I mean, a bottle of sparkling, because you should always have a bottle of sparkling ready. There's always something to celebrate. And a rosé, because, you know, the director. But the rest are vermouths or amaros just because they last longer. They are wines, so they will go bad. Unfortunately, these where I shop did not come in smaller bottles, or probably would, but we do go through them pretty quick. We like our cocktails. So that's care. Do you have to get these top brand names? No, I don't. I would not go with the bottom shelf. You know, I wouldn't go with people who actually make wine and they don't make great wine. If I'm not going to call out the brand name, but that's someone who doesn't make great wine in the first place has also got vermouths. I would steer away from them, but there are some good middle level vermouths. Total Wine has their brand version. They taste fine. If you want to start upping your game and start developing, Lillet, Antica, Noli Pratt. There's some terrific Doulin. Actually, Doulin, I was torn between the Antica and the Doulin Rouge because they're both terrific. They're a little pricier, but they're nothing outright. This is probably the most expensive of the bunch, but it's the first. And they do a really great job on it. It tastes like nothing else out there. So, get above the bottom shelf. You can do fine for the middle shelf until you start really upping your cocktail game. Buy smaller if you're not going to use a lot. Keep it refrigerated. Play with it. It doesn't always have to be in a cocktail. It could just be a lighter spritz or something you just want to relax and enjoy with. I'm enjoying it today. It's really nice and refreshing. So don't be afraid to explore modifiers. Try them on your own. Fun to expand your cocktail bar cart. And these are probably, of all the modifiers, the most necessary that you're going to get. As we go in deeper, they're going to be less and less necessary, but fun to learn about. So I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Don't be afraid to play with the cocktails. Drink these, but responsibly, but you can stretch these out to be a little more responsible. I'll see you in a few weeks. Enjoy. Cheers.